Hello, everybody. This is Israel, also known as Izzy-centric, and we're doing part one of the commentary on the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch is First Enoch, for those of you who are not aware, and I plan on doing. I could lay out a bunch of facts about the Book of Enoch, but if you're already here, chances are you already know them. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a sore under my tongue. I wanted to actually read this and kind of commentate as I go along. That ain't happening. And so you guys just let me know in the future if you want me to do that, but I'm going to have a video playing that actually does the audio of the book, and then we're going to follow along, and then every spot where there's something that I want to commentate on, I will pause, and then I will kind of highlight through and then go over it. Anyway, so let's go and get started. This is also a really good one to actually start on because we're going to be going through the origin of demons, and that's pretty important. So I'm happy you want me to start here.
Translated by R.H. Charles. Chapter 1. The words of the blessing of Enoch, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. And he took up his parable and said, Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God, saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angel showed me. And from them I heard everything. And from them I understood as I saw, but not for this generation, but for a remote one which is for to come. Concerning the elect I said, and took up my parable concerning them. The Holy Great One will.
This is also a very apocalyptic book, as you guys are probably getting the impression right away.
Come forth from his dwelling, and the eternal God will tread upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai, and appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. And all shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of the earth. And the high mountains shall be shaken, and the high hills shall be made low, and shall melt like wax before the flame. And the earth shall be rent in sunder, and all that is upon the earth shall perish, and there shall be a judgment upon all men. But with the righteous he will make peace, and will protect the elect, and mercy shall be upon them. And they shall all belong to God, and they shall be prospered, and they shall be blessed. And light shall appear unto them, and behold, he cometh with 10,000 of holy ones, to execute judgment upon all, and destroy the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of all the works which they have ungodly committed, and of all the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
All right, right here. So what I'm highlighting here is actually a direct reference to Enoch coming from the book of Jude. Also take note, where is it? Watchers. Yeah, right here. Common theme here. It's just a type of celestial being or a type of angel. Even angel in of itself is a type of celestial. Celestials are the ones with wings, angels, right? But we think of all the beings in the skies as angels, common misconception, but a watcher is a type of celestial.
Chapter 2. Observe ye everything that takes place in the heaven, how they do not change their orbits, the luminaries which are in heaven, how they all rise and set in order each in its season, and transgress not against their appointed order. Behold ye the earth, and give heed to the things which take place upon it from first to last, and how change, but all the works of God appear. Behold the summer and the winter, how the whole earth is filled with water, and clouds and dew and rain lie upon it. Chapter 3. Observe and see how in winter all the trees seem as though they had withered and shed all their leaves, except 14 trees, which do not lose their foliage, but retain the old foliage from 2 to 3 years till the new comes. Chapter 4. And again, observe ye the days of summer, how the sun is above the earth over against it, And you shall seek shade and shelter by reason of the heat of the sun. And the earth also burns with growing heat, so you cannot tread on the earth, or on a rock by reason of its heat. Chapter 5. Observe ye how the trees cover themselves with green leaves and bear fruit. Wherefore, give ye heed and know with regards to all his works, and recognize.
Actually, let's reference chapter 4 real quick, talking about seeking shade from the heat of the sun. The Earth naturally, we want to talk about climate change. The Earth naturally has a cool down period and then a heat up period. So it heats up, cools down, heats up, cools down. And in the apocalypse, it is believed that the way in which we get a new heaven and a new earth is the sun explodes. So it's only natural during this time that you imagine something like the earth burning with growing heat.
How he that liveth forever hath made them so. And all his works go on thus from year to year forever, and all the tasks which they accomplish for him, and the tasks change not, but according as God hath ordained it, so it is done. And behold how the sea and the rivers in the like manner accomplish, and change not their task from his commandments. But ye have not been steadfast, nor done the commandments of the Lord, but ye have turned away and spoken proud and harsh words with your impure mouths against his greatness. O ye hard-hearted, ye shall find no peace. Therefore shall ye execrate your days, and the years of your life shall perish, and the years of your destruction shall be multiplied in eternal execration, and ye shall find no mercy. In those days ye shall make your names an eternal execration unto all the righteous, and by you shall all who curse, curse, and all the sinners and godless shall imprecate by you. And for you, the godless, there shall be a curse. And all the text missing shall rejoice, and there shall be forgiveness of sins. And for every mercy and peace and forbearance, there shall be salvation unto them, a goodly light.
Let's pause here on text missing. We do not have all the text of the Book of Enoch. The Dead Sea Scrolls themselves that we have found, we only have them in part. We don't have the full text. And what we do have is most likely written by multiple authors. Written by Enoch, most likely not. Maybe a tiny amount, perhaps. But there's no way to even conclude that to be true. Anyway, let's continue.
But for all you sinners there shall be no salvation. But on you all shall abide a curse. But for the elect there shall be joy and peace and light, and they shall inherit the earth. And then there shall be bestowed upon the elect wisdom.
Oh, and then I didn't realize that this particular audio, this audio video does reference scripture for us. So Matthew chapter 5, verse 5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. For evildoers in Psalm chapter 37, verses 9 through 11, shall be cut off by those that wait upon the Lord. They shall inherit the earth. Note here, Jude's assertion that Enoch is the seventh from Adam would imply that Genesis, Psalms, and other Old Testament material borrows from Enoch and not the other way around. That is interesting.
And they shall all live and never again sin, either through ungodliness or through pride. But they who are wise shall be humble. And they shall not again transgress, nor shall they sin in all the days of their life. Nor shall they die of the divine anger or wrath, but they shall complete the number of days of their life. And their lives shall be increased in peace, and the years of their joy shall be multiplied in eternal gladness and peace all the days of their life. Chapter 6. And it came to pass.
All right, this is where it's going to start getting heavy. Real heavy. So, yeah. Just so you guys know, you might want to go and get your pen out if you haven't already.
When the children of men had multiplied in those days, were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, Let us choose our wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Samjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then sware they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were in all 200, who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders. Sumizad.
All right, pause. First of all, chapter 6, verses 1 all the way through 3, you can line up almost perfectly with Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 through 4. Just before it starts going into Simjaza, the leader, and then it starts going into specifics. Again, going back to what is inspiring what is borrowing from what, just showing the validity in First Enoch.
Their leader, Arakiba, Ramiel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Ezequiel, Barakiel, Aziel, Amaros, Batriel, Ananel, Zaquiel, Samsapel, Satriel, Turiel, Jomjael, Seriel. These are their chiefs of tens. Chapter 7.
Take the names with a grain of salt. Good chance that they have been changed here and there, the pronunciation being off by a bit here and there, but for the most part, it's better to be safe than sorry. Don't go around just saying these names anywhere, writing them down anywhere. Any symbols being attached or associated with these names, try to avoid that, because you never know what you're going to get the attention of.
And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one. And they began to go in unto them, and to defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds and beasts.
All right, I do want to talk about this too. The giants did not have to be cannibalistic. They eventually turned that way, as we see here. It only makes sense that a dead Nephilim would be a demon. Nothing but just basically Frankenstein's monster. That's essentially what it is. You have a half angel, half human monstrosity, a perversion of the face of God, because the face of God is reflected onto humans. But Nephilim are only half human. Whereas you have Jesus Christ, who is and was on this earth all divine and all man, not half God, half man, not a demi-god. He was God-man.
Reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. Chapter 8. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives, shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth, and the art of working with them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones and coloring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings, Eremos the resolving of enchantments. Barakajel taught astrology, Kokabel the constellations, Ezequiel the knowledge of the clouds, and Seriel the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven.
All right. And so we're going to talk about chapter 8 in just a second, but let's go back to chapter 7. These giants beginning to sin against birds, beasts, and reptiles and fish. We don't know what sin against means. Um, it could, there's a few things we could think of. For a bird, you could think of the heartbeat, which is half bird, half human. Beasts, you could think of something like a bull or a minotaur, half human, half bull. Reptiles, uh, fish, like mermaids. I mean, you start thinking that direction. You start getting into cryptid territory. Devouring one another's flesh and drinking the blood. This is strictly forbidden. You see this multiple times being forbidden by God in the Bible, and for good reason. Life is in the blood. Genesis talks about this. To cook the animal fully, it being me talking post flood, you want to cook the animal fully. Do not drink the life blood of the animal. In Leviticus, it talks about the same thing. Do not drink the lifeblood of the animal. The life is in the blood. Blood is very important.
Chapter 9. And then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven, and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said to one another, The earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven.
All right. Here, this is where we start getting the idea of ghosts. When somebody dies, their blood crying up to heaven. This happened to Abel. When Cain killed his brother Abel, Abel's blood cried out to God. This was so bad that it I mean, we imagine things like Genghis Khan and his wrath he put upon the earth with his conquests. This was of epic proportions. So God was fully aware, as we'll see later, God was fully aware of what was going on, and he stayed very quiet during this time. Going back to chapter 8, just want to bring up something. When we start getting into astrology, the constellations, knowledge of the clouds, signs of the earth, uh, witchcraft, magic, it is angel magic. It belongs to the angels. This is forbidden knowledge, occult to us humans. Angels are not ever supposed to teach us this stuff. But angels can also present false gospels to us, which Paul says in Galatians 1:8. So angels can go rogue, they do have free will, and they can go against God. They can do it right now. Angels still fall now. Anyway.
And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and the God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all generations of the ages, and thy name holy and glorious, and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou. And all these are naked and open in thy sight. And thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. Thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Samjaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sin. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying, and making their suit to the gate of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which were wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before them come to pass. Thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them. And thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these.
All right, let's pause here. I really want to make sure that I'm still recording. So we're about 20 minutes in here. Guys, this might be a shorter one because my wife does share this computer with me and I do not have an external hard drive yet. Some points I want to make. Oh, here we go. Azazel or Azazel. There is belief that it's actually two words, not one. Azaz meaning strong and El meaning God. You have strong God. It's believed that is just another name for the devil. And it is quite interesting that Azazel, or the devil, uh, gets called out right here, who taught all unrighteousness on earth and revealed the eternal secrets, which were preserved in heaven. Again, occult, preserved, hidden, which men were striving to learn. We're striving to learn them now. So, look at demigods of other mythologies, giants, which that's all they are. So just be aware that that is that's a whole thing you see in other belief systems and religions. I'm gonna try not to go like freaking ancient aliens on you guys, but this goes back thousands of years. Guys, this is going to conclude part one of me commentating on the Book of Enoch, and put comments down below on what you would like for me to cover in the future. Would you like for me to read this directly or just have this go on? Because this video I just kind of pulled. This video just kind of pulled randomly, but I love the way that it's broken down because it's great. It's a lot of notes that I don't have that it's right here, and a lot of things that I'm honestly forgetting. I haven't read the Book of Enoch in a long time, so this is really cool, and I'm looking forward to the journey that we're all going on together. Christians in the chat, do not forget that the Bible is your foundation and that there is much truth. There's much inspiration in the Book of Enoch. I, and I believe you should too, we have reservations about putting it all the way in. So just be aware that we want to take much of this with a grain of salt because not every single word is inspired. There are multiple authors in this book. So anyway, with that being said, I look forward to you guys in the next video. Take care and God bless.